Hey, it's June 23rd, 2021. It is Wednesday. I took one trade on Airbnb, ticker symbol ABNB. I just wanted to go over it and the play that happened. Yeah, let's just get right into it. So first things first, we always look at a higher time frame analysis. And as you can see, overall, Airbnb has sort of taken a little bit of a nosedive, but has kind of worked its way back up within the past couple days, months, and now it's looking pretty good. And I really liked this sort of resistance it had here. It was really having trouble with this level, and so I knew that another push above it would have meant for a nice little scalp, which is what happened. I really would have enjoyed a more explosive move from this. I really thought it was going to be a nice big winner, but unfortunately, that's not what happened. That might happen once we break the 154.5 level, even 155 area as well. But and we also have this sort of longer term trend line looking thing. Not too much to be worried about, but yeah. All right, so let's get into the trade itself. Let's go into a 5 minute time frame. First and foremost, let's go over what the market was doing. So the first things first that I always do to trade is I always look at where the market was doing. Airbnb doesn't really follow um, the ES or NQ, so I wasn't too concerned, but I do just like taking note where the market was at the time or what it was doing. If it was weak, creating higher lows, any of that stuff. That's kind of what I just like to note. So I entered, or I was looking to enter at this before the 153.5 break, which was right around the 11:30, 11:45, 12 o'clock area, which was right as you can see with the synchronized cursors. Um, ES was really struggling. It was pretty weak. So obviously not the most high quality trade. Um, so I did size down a bit with that in mind. That ES was sort of consolidating at its lows, which was bearish on an intraday time frame. And one thing that I did like was it did break out of this short-term trend line down. So I thought, okay, maybe we could reverse here. We had maybe we had a low day fail, low day fail again here. Maybe something along those lines. But again, we were pretty weak. If we look at NQ real quick, we were weak there as well, and that was because we were around here. We were consolidating near the lows as well. So nothing to be too happy about in terms of playing calls. So that is why I size it down. However, Airbnb kind of does its own thing. As you can see, first confirmation we had was clear relative strength. If you see in the morning, well, actually, the first one was higher time frame analysis. Just go look at it real quick. It was, basing and kind of just doing its own thing, but still making somewhat higher lows, higher low here, higher low. Anyway, back to the trade itself. Okay, so as you can see, Airbnb obviously had some relative strength. It broke high of day, same time NQ did, ES, and then it kind of held value here. So while NQ was dropping, I'll actually pull up ES as well. So while NQ and ES were dropping, Airbnb was holding value, which was super, super bullish. So that means as soon as the markets kind of found a bottom, Airbnb would kind of continue to grind higher, which is exactly what happened. Even though ES and NQ really never found its home for the day at the bottom. So here's what happened. I was hoping for a 5 minute RBNR, which we didn't get. I really enjoyed something I noticed was the patience of the trade, which I was super happy about. Normally I would anticipate this 5 minute RBNR. It was super, super nice. I just had a nice green move, a little bit extended, so obviously we wanted some period of consolidation. And I thought as soon as it broke above this basing candle, I would enter and we have a nice explosive move to the top, which is not what happened. Normally I would anticipate this, but I didn't because obviously ES and NQ were weak, and I really am trying to practice on sort of being a little bit more patient and waiting for the rally candle to surpass the basing candle. So I was waiting, and then once we got to here, I was like, okay, well, let's check a 15-minute time frame, and let's see where we can maybe enter on a possible 15-minute RBNR, which is exactly what happened. So if you look at a 15-minute RBNR, we were obviously consolidating here. I would have liked this to see this basing candle be a red candle, obviously, but can't be perfect, and I thought this was a good enough basing candle for a nice explosive move. So I entered pretty much as soon as we broke this basing candle, the high of the basing candle. If you look on a 5-minute frame, you can see it a little bit more clearer, which was also a little bit of a 5-minute RBNR itself. So that was another confirmation. There's two confirmations in one right there. We had a significant amount of volume. Look at the volume compared to yesterday. Obviously, you can, or in the day before that, you can see that it's clear that it definitely has more momentum, more volume than previous days. If you look at, let's see, it kind of maintained this consistent volume the entire day, which was beautiful. You can even see it previous day, not a lot of volume. So obviously, you can see that there's a good amount of volume here. Okay. So when I was in the trade, I entered right at the break of this consolidation here, which was beautiful. We had volume, a little bit of an increasing volume here, or at least it was holding value with the volume. So, and if I was playing more size, I obviously would have held on to my target, which was this used 1 hour supply zone. But because I was playing small size, I scaled out pretty quickly given the context of the market because it was so weak. So that's what happened. So I scaled out here, and I made a good, I think it was maybe 20% on the trade. Actually, maybe a little bit more, maybe probably about 23% on the trade. I have to do the math on it, but it was something like that. So a nice little scalp to end the day after a frustrating morning. Really couldn't get the setups and entries going, and I just wasn't in the right headspace. So I kind of cleared my mind and relaxed, and saw this nice 153.5 level, and it kind of did a little explosion here. I was really hoping for this thing to just take off and hit the target right away. I was, maybe it would have been an RBNR here, but given the context of the market, I just immediately took profit. It was a nice volume spike. Didn't really like this upper wick, but what are you going to do? It did end up actually hitting this target to the penny. Unfortunate, but obviously, given this consolidation, contracts were probably not moving that much anyway. So a nice trade. Super, super happy with my patience and how I managed this trade. Really couldn't have done much better. Maybe entered a little bit more sooner here, but honestly, I couldn't ask for a better trade. So yeah, I'll see everyone tomorrow.